I've always been a Pokemon nerd, but something Pokemon I've never been able to get into is Pokemon Go PvP. Because it's not enough just to know the type chart anymore. Now you have to understand leads, safe swaps, closers, shield advantage, PvP IVs. It's a lot for most people. But for today's video, we're giving it another shot because we have 100 battles and 4-time rewards as part of a special event today. And so if we're ever going to give it another shot, this is the best opportunity. But if we're going to do this, we need to take it seriously. And that means we need to find a team. PvPoke can help me build out the perfect team, but I can only use what I have on my phone. And I'm trying not to spend a whole lot of resources at the same time. This was the part where I really started to kind of feel like giving up and why it was worth it. But by sticking it out, I was actually able to find my team, so let's introduce you to them. So one member of our team, the first one we're coming across here, is going to be Charjabug. Going with the Shiny Flex is actually the best Great League one I got. The rules are, by the way, I forgot to say, Great League, which is 1500 CP or lower, and Pokemon that have evolved and can evolve again. So middle stage evolution. So Charjabug, think like Kadabra, Haunter, Dragonair, stuff like that. So I ended up using a non-Shadow Dragonair, but I should have used the Shadow one. This was a mistake where I misunderstood which one would end up being best for my team. And I didn't know until afterwards. And our last one is my favorite Pokemon I've ever used in Great League. It's one of my first ones I ever built. It is my Vigoroth. And he's a shiny as well, but he's actually not that bad. I don't know what his rank is, I forgot to look it up. But yeah, this is the guy I've been using the longest. And it turns out, he's still good. So we're going with that. In the beginning, things were actually really simple. I was only level 1 starting out, so I was facing people that didn't even have properly leveled Pokemon in certain cases. So the first Pokemon that I ran into that surprised me was Chansey. It just come from a community day where the PvP analysis was basically don't build one. And I think it makes sense to still say that because I didn't run into very many past these early levels. They were very easy to kill. A good Pokemon I started to encounter was Wireless, which was a problem for me because it beat my Dragonair in the lead, and for a while I didn't understand how to actually play against it. About 30 minutes in, I've completed a set and reached rank 3, but to this point I still haven't actually fought very hard matchups. Most people, once again, were still not using Pokemon to actually level it up all the way. One of the common things I was having to do now was to try to land Rock Slide from my Vigoroth onto opposing Golbats for a surprising amount of damage. Most of the time this move would get shield, but in certain scenarios at the end of a game, whether I was able to make it to that move or not meant the win or loss, and it was beginning to finally have some tight matches. It's got more than 50, I don't think it's enough. Oh, it is! Yeah. Rock Slide's just enough damage to take another W. Now let me introduce you to the bane of my existence. Hakamo-o. It's a dragon fighting type that was able to defeat my Dragonair and my Vigoroth. And Charjabug, while it didn't get directly countered, Charjabug's not great against it. So it was really core breaking my team. And this one that I first encountered gave me my first loss of the session. First loss against an actual team, so I'm okay with that. At about 47 minutes in, I finally got a good swap on a Xylus using my Vigoroth, and this is where I really realized Vigoroth can handle Wireless. So next time I have a lead matchup against Wireless with my Dragonair, I need to be using Vigoroth, and it helps me in future matchups by remembering this. I don't know. If there was a Pokemon that I was finding really annoying to fight against, even though it didn't directly counter my team and I had a couple ways to handle it, it would be Golbat. Whether it be regular Golbat, Purified Golbat, or Shadow Golbat, I was just getting tired of seeing all of these Golbats. So what the next person is doing is something called tanking. You use Pokemon that are like 10 CP that have no way to fight in order to lose as fast as possible. The reason they do this is because they can lower their rating to fit worse people, so after they lose enough, then they can just win against really easy people, the same way I was winning when I first started, and get rewards that way. I didn't count any of these matches as part of my 50, so every time I encountered a Tinker, I added one more match to what I needed to do. Moving right along, I hit level 5, and now this should stop being easy match time, and I should start having tougher matchups from here. In fact, my next matchup was the most nail-biting match I've had so far. X-Scissor is enough. Do you have energy? You do have energy. Is it just more than a poison fang? A poison fang I don't think kills me. I don't think a poison fang kills me. It's so close, but it doesn't kill me. I kill you. Ha! So my second loss was once again at the hands of Hakamo-o, but it was so bad. They had a Vigoroth and a Hakamo-o, and I didn't even get to see their third Pokemon before they beat me. Yikes. I also found out there's one more Pokemon that can correlate my team. Oh, it was a shadow. But luckily I only saw it this one time. That's huge. And a Rhydon. Oh, I need to get the Aquatel. Alright, we actually just lost because it's a Shadow Rhydon. But what are you supposed to do? I mean, it's a Shadow Rhydon. I didn't expect a Shadow Rhydon. Some kind of rock or earth move. Yeah, okay, GG. You had a Shadow Rhydon. My next match would introduce me to two Pokemon that would later haunt me throughout the rest of this. It's the first time I've seen them, but they were both extremely good. The first one being Dusclops, in this case a fancy shiny one, but also Primeape. Both Pokemon I would never want to see again. I think I just lost. I don't know why I allowed his Primeape to finish off my Dragonair. Yeah, we definitely lost. GG to him. GG. So I mentioned the annoying terms at the start, and one of them was a safe switch. Safe switch means you can bring in a Pokemon, and if the enemy switches, there's not really that many bad matchups for that Pokemon. It can still do damage, and that's where my Vigoroth shines. That's what my Vigoroth is. This is the first match I lost by just not paying attention, and I used my Charger Bug as a safe switch instead of a Vigoroth, and it's my first loss that felt like it was completely my fault, and not because I ran into another Hakamo-o. Which, by the way, at this point, I was 0-4 against. Also, remember, the game we're playing is Pokemon, and there are a lot of Pokemon. And this next match, this person brought a Alolan Graveler, and I completely disregarded it as any kind of threat, and then kind of relaxed for the rest of the match, and it ended up almost losing. I managed to lose to somebody using a Alolan Graveler? Surely not. There's no reason to charge attack as a shield. Yeah, no, I didn't. I didn't lose. So whether the person is bringing something you're familiar with or you think is trash, there might be some kind of use to it, like that Shadow Rhydon we ran into earlier. The last Pokemon I need to mention here that really core broke my team was Crocalor. Crocalor, when I first saw it, I thought it was something completely out of left field and wasn't that good, but turns out it has a fairy move to defeat my Dragonair, and it's a fire type that can defeat my Charger Bug. So it defeats Charger Bug and Dragonair, and Vigoroth isn't exactly amazing into it. So very similar to how Hakamo was beating two of my Pokemon, Crocalor is doing the same, just the two different ones. The nice thing about Crocalor though was, I actually managed to win a battle against it at least once. Whereas Hakamo-o, I don't think I ever beat it the entire session. So as I hit rank 11 here, I only have 5 more battles to go until I'm done, and this is where I just wanted to mention my thoughts on PvP, because this is a PvP good video. I have to overall just kind of say no. This was supposed to be originally a 100 battle session, but then I quickly realized, but then I realized it was going to take me 5 hours. It took me over 2.5 hours just to do these 50 battles. And you can use different Pokemon to help your variety, but even during this event with 4 times Stardust, it cost way more to build up my Dragonair and my Charger Bug than the Stardust I got back in return. So being able to build up a bunch of Pokemon is an expense, not something you should be expected to do. And overall, I think I'm just going to stick to the way I was, where I'm not really going to grind this mode very much. I'm not impressed. I think playing in person and going around to regionals and stuff is a lot more interesting, but I don't know if I'll ever put the practice in, because I was really counting down every single battle until I could be done with this challenge at this point. Did do something. My last 5 battles weren't nothing super interesting that I wanted to point out. So now we're going to the section where I actually recorded all of my matchups, and so this is the data representation that I want to go over with you. I was putting in my battles, so you can see we won 38 out of 51 battles, so I had a 75% win rate, and I recorded everything except for the tanker. So the people who had like 10 CP, 15 CP Pokemon against me, they're not in here. My Pokemon I struggled the most with, the 2 at the top, are the 2 that I 100% agree with. Hakamo-o and Crocalor. I think I lost to every single team that had a Crocalor. That's me. I played 50 battles. I would not do it again. No, thank you. Bye-bye.